And we are back. Our last guest tonight is Biloxi's Historical Administrator and Executive Planner. Coming on the show to tell us a bit about the history of the Saenger and its importance to the city of Biloxi. Due to scheduling issues, he couldn't be here, but we did do the interview by Skype. Please welcome Mr. Bill Raymond. Bill, thanks for joining us. Before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
I am the Historical Administrator for Biloxi. I'm born, raised here in Biloxi, went to USM. Actually started my career off in economic development, working for downtown redevelopment, and transitioned into historic preservation later in life.
Now, we just filmed portions of this show in the Saenger, in the actual Saenger. And being the historical administrator for the city, you've got kind of a unique perspective on all this. Can you walk us through the history of the Saenger?
Well, there's one thing I left out in my little bio to you was my first job with the city of Biloxi. I was the Saenger Theater manager.
Oh,
That's
wow.
how I actually started with the city. So, yeah, that place is near and dear to my heart. You know, back in the 1920s when it was built, it was a state-of-the-art movie house, but also had the stage so that it could be used for vaudeville. It could be used for a lot of different things. And it was one of many, there were a number just in that downtown between Lemieux Street and Raynard Street where the Saenger is. There were 4 theaters in that 2-block area. So that tells you how important downtown was.
And the Saenger stood through all of it, whereas the other theaters are now just gone.
Now, there's one building left that was a theater, and that's the Bancorp South building on Howard Avenue, was originally the Duquette Theater.
Got it. Now, being the executive planner for the city, how does the Saenger fit into the city's plans for the future?
Well, you know, we really are looking at downtown for entertainment and as a draw for not only locals but for tourists. And really that entertainment district, the Saenger is central to that piece because, you know, the Saenger is a draw for downtown. That's almost 1,000 seats for that drawing people into for performances downtown. Not only the show, they're going to be there. They're going to have dinner before the show or after the show. They're going to go have drinks. You know, it really makes it's a perfect anchor for downtown to create that synergy that we want around restaurants and nightclubs and that kind of stuff. The Saenger is a perfect addition to that.
Well, and there are acts that commute down the I-10 corridor that are not going to be tied into a casino show in some way, shape, or form. That you know that are already playing maybe the Saenger in New Orleans and then working their way through Mobile or Pensacola on their way to Tallahassee or Jacksonville or further south in Florida or up towards Atlanta. So it's actually a perfect stopping point for gigs for certain types of performers.
You're exactly right. And there are performers that like a house that has atmosphere, which the Saenger does. It's a great size, being a little less than 1,000. It's not some cute, huge arena. And they can really, with a smaller house, they can feel that connection to the audience. And that's something they really loved and something I've heard over the years as different people perform in that facility. They really love the sound quality that they get out of the building. Plus, they like the intimacy of it.
Now, what goes into the decision making at kind of the master plan level? I mean, it seems like it would be really fun, but also really challenging, no?
Yeah, and we did a lot of the acoustical things and all of those technical parts of the interior with the last restoration. So really, a lot of that is still good. On this project, really, we're concentrating on what is the best way to treat the existing structure, the best to save its historic integrity, but also to make it as usable and as resilient in the face of weather and all of these other issues in today's environment.
It's got to be modernized from a technology standpoint, but at the same point in time, have all its historical integrity.
Exactly. You know, and that's part of what makes the Saenger unique. You know, if we got rid of all that historic integrity, what is it? It's just it's a movie house like any other movie theater in town. You know, there's no draw there.
Yeah, there's nothing that gives it that extra charm. Now, as far as the job is concerned, what would you say has been the biggest challenge you've faced while being the executive planner for the city? Is it the Saenger?
The Sanger has been a major challenge just because there were so many different issues involved. We've got historic masonry that's leaky, that's got water coming through it. How do you deal with that historic masonry without jeopardizing the historical integrity of the building? Something you can put a new roof on it. That's easy enough to do. You can do that. You won't harm anything. But things like addressing that brick, how do you address the brick or the clay tile that's on the outside of the building and still make it still be the Saenger Theater in its historic context? So that's been a tough project. Now, we've had a lot of tough projects, especially since Katrina. Every structure that the city owned had some level of damage. So it's been 14 years of constant construction.
Now, within the last 2 decades, we've actually seen across the country a return of thriving downtowns. I can remember downtowns. I mean, there was a point even at Pensacola just 20 years ago, you'd be hit and miss with buildings downtown with people that were occupied. Maybe 2/3, 3/4 of them were unoccupied. It was like a ghost town. But now you're starting to see these downtown communities booming again with business both daytime and nighttime. What do you think? Why do you think that is?
I think it's people are looking for something different. They're looking for that unique experience. You can't get it in the suburbs. You can't get it in a mall, but you can get it in downtown. Downtown Biloxi is unlike any other downtown in the country. So that's a unique drawing point, and people are looking, visitors and residents are looking for that unique experience. People need to be challenged and to see something new I think in today's society, people really need something new, something fresh constantly. So I think that really has made a difference in downtown and how downtowns are perceived across the country.
Bill, thank you so much for being on the show. I know we had a little bit of a challenge coordinating things the other day when we were doing it, but I'm so glad we were able to catch up with you by Skype. Thank you, and everyone, Bill Raymond.
Thank you very much, David.
Take care.
That's our show for tonight. I want to thank Lee Johnson, Bill Raymond, and Biloxi Main Street's Kay Miller. Mo Giles, please take me home, or us.